Hello, my name is Stanley Figueroa, and this video is how to play a chromatic scale 1 octave on double B flat contrabass tuba. The tuba is a brass instrument. It consists of 18 feet of tubing. This allows for the instrument to play in the lower or bass register of the piano. The tuba consists of 3 to 6 valves, tuning slides to tune the notes that you play with those valves. And in this case, this tuba has 2 sets of tuning slides. And also, most importantly, the lead pipe, which connects to your mouthpiece. The most common types of scales that musicians encounter are major and minor scales. The difference between the two scales is simply the arrangements of half steps and whole steps. To help you understand how those two things go together, we'll take a look at how a major scale and a minor scale are played on piano. Here, a major scale is being played. To understand how the whole steps and half steps relate to each other, we'll look at this from a different view. In this view, you can see that after starting on the first note, you have to go up a whole step, then up another whole step, then a half step. From there, go up another whole step, and a third whole step, and then a half step will get you back to your original note, only up the octave. Here we have a very different sounding scale. This is the C natural minor scale, starting on the same note as the major, but the whole steps and half steps are arranged differently. Here, you go up one whole step, then a half step, then you go up another whole step, a second whole step. Here you change again to a half step, then you go up a whole step, and one more whole step will bring you back to your original pitch up the octave. Now, there are multiple types of scales that combine whole steps and half steps in different ways to produce different sounds. There are 6-note scales, 5-note scales, but today we're focusing specifically on a special kind of scale which consists of 12 notes, which is put together by using only half steps and no whole steps. Here, we're looking at a chromatic scale. The notes going up use sharps to move them up each half step. Coming down, they use flats to move them down each half step. We can hear it on the piano. Now, only using half steps gives you a very distinct sound that's different from both the major and the minor scales. Now, what's important to remember when you're playing a valved instrument like tuba is that each valve does not move you up or down a note in any pattern of major scale, minor scale, or chromatic scale. My partner in the practice room will demonstrate this for me. The tuba, like all other valved instruments, has to use its valves in different combinations to create the notes needed to play major, minor, or chromatic scales. It can be demonstrated here. Open, play a B flat. 2 and 4 will play a B. 4 will play a C. 2 and 3 will play a C sharp. 1 and 2 combined will play a D. First valve is an E flat. Second valve is an E. Open but a firmer embouchure is F. F sharp is 2 and 3. G, 1 and 2. G sharp first. A, second. And B flat is open but an octave higher. The chromatic scale is used just as often as the major or the minor scale, and it can be used in any style, whether it be jazz, classical, or whatever genre of music you wish to play. My friend in the practice room is going to demonstrate a few of the styles that you can use a chromatic scale in. Whoa, slow down, Speedy. We're going to take a second look at that, but slower. The chromatic scale is being used, but starts on the D, to an E flat, to an E, to an F, skips a few notes to an A, and then a B flat. So the chromatic scale is being used, it's just being broken apart, which is perfectly fine in music. Now let's look at a different example. Hopefully you were able to catch the chromatic scale there, but if not, we'll look at that again but slower. The first note is a B flat, but the scale is backwards, so we're going down to an A, then down to an A flat, now down to a G, now down to a G flat, down to an F, and there's the chromatic scale. But we do have a second example ascending from the G to the G sharp, to the A, to the B flat. Now that you've learned what the scale is, you can now use it to improvise and make up your own music. Now this has been how to play a chromatic scale on double B flat tuba. I hope that this was helpful to anyone watching and hope that you enjoy. Saying goodbye is me and my friend in the practice room.